In this video, I want to talk about the gig economy. So maybe you've heard this term before, gig economy. What exactly is that? Well, someone who is in the gig economy doesn't have a regular official job, so they are not like working for a company where they get paid by the hour or by the year. Instead, they're getting paid kind of by the job. So they're kind of self-employed in a way. So every piece of work that they do, they get paid for that piece of work. So essentially, you're just selling your own labor, but it's different from other ones because the amount of money that you get, the amount of work that you do, is very inconsistent. Some days there may be a lot of work and you're just working all the time. But other days, you might do one thing and then wait for several hours before the next job comes along. Some examples of organizations where you do gig work is like Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, these kind of things. So for Uber, you're driving people around. So if you start working at, I don't know, say 8 a.m., and maybe 8:30 a.m., you get a job and you do it. And so you drove someone, somewhere, took you, I don't know, 45 minutes or something. And then, so now it's 8:45 and you're waiting for your next job. And you might be waiting for a short time. You might be waiting for a long time. You may not get another job until, say, 11 p.m. or, sorry, 11 a.m. And so that is, or you might say, okay, it's 10:30 a.m. Now I'm not getting any jobs. It's a slow day. I'm just gonna stop for the day and do something else. So it has this flexibility of that you can work when you want and then not work when you don't want, but it also has like really inconsistent jobs. So that you're kind of wasting all your time in some ways. So you start out working at 8 until 10:30, but you only did 45 minutes of work, and you're only getting paid for 45 minutes. As a gig worker, a gig economy worker, you're also responsible for your own benefits. The company doesn't pay for your benefits, and so you have to like make more money to make up for that fact. And we'll talk more about benefits in a future lesson. Gig work has quite a lot of similarities to like self-employed work or kind of temporary work. So self-employed, like pretty much in any industry, you can be self-employed. Self-employed just means that you're not working for an official company, but instead, like a company hires you for a certain amount of time to do a certain amount of work. That time could be like one day, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 3 months. It kind of varies, but but the company is not responsible for your well-being or your health benefits or anything, your working hours or whatever. They just hired you to do a job. It's like they're hiring a company to do a job. When you're self-employed, you're like your own kind of company. The gig work also has some similarities to kind of temporary work. So you think about, for example, the example that you're probably most familiar with is TOCs in school. So TOCs typically, they can work on some days, and if they want to, take off a day to go, skiing that day or something, then they just don't work that day. They don't get paid, but they don't have to work. So it has the same, and so there's kind of these temporary positions in lots of different fields. Like doctors have temporary doctors, and like a lot of office work type staff have temporary people who can do that work. And so if you are a temp person, you have a lot more flexibility in some ways, but it's worse in some ways. You may not be working when you do want to work. And so, yeah, it shares that with kind of gig economy. But for people who want like maximum flexibility, pretty much in every field, there is a way to accomplish that. It's just that you may not, that flexibility comes at the expense perhaps of more money or like working when you do want to work. So looks like this kind of field is getting more common, especially with the Ubers and the DoorDashes of the world. And so something to keep in mind as you decide like how you want to structure your working life. All right, that's all for this video. We'll see you in the next one.